Every man, every woman, every child has come into this world with a mission. And until that mission is complete, he keeps taking rebirths. I don't know whether the concept of rebirth is true or not, but I do believe that everyone is here with a mission. How does one find out what that mission is, and what does it take to get there?
What I say may not be very pleasant. What is true may not always be pleasant. What is pleasant need not be true. But why truth is important is because it works. Pleasant things will bring solace to individual people. Solace means you're seeking somebody's help to handle your psychological drama. Truth means you're interested in the solution, not in solace. So, this mission aspect, all the problems on the planet is simply because everybody has their own mission. And these missions are creating variety of conflict. If all of us sit here without any mission, mission means an assumed position of importance and agenda, individual agenda. If all of us can sit here without any individual agenda, if our hearts beat just as life, not as a man, not as a woman, not as this party or this religion or that religion, simply as life, all of us will be able to see very clearly what is it that is most essential right now in the world, both for the individual and for the larger world. Because every one of us have taken up these assumed missionary positions, in our fervor of our own missions, very brutal things are being done in the world. People who even believe… mission is always God-given, unfortunately. You can look back on the history of humanity and see, whenever somebody said, God spoke to me, terrible things happened around them. In recent times, a president of a major nation said, God told me. Since then, over 1 million people are dead, 3 countries are ruined, and it has bred something that you cannot contain probably in the next 100 years, because God spoke to him. So, there are too many assumptions in this. There are too many assumptions involved. First of all, to think that I have a God-given mission, there is an exaggerated sense of importance for the human being. Somewhere there is a ridiculous idea that human beings are central to the creation, or the cosmos is human-centric. No. Tomorrow morning, if this entire solar system evaporates, it will not even be noticed. That is how vast it is, creation. All of us, including the sun and the moon and all the planets, if we just evaporate tomorrow, it will not even be noticed, it's such a small speck. This tiny speck, which we call a solar system, in that planet Earth is a micro speck. In that micro speck, Kolkata is a super micro speck. In that, you are a big man. And now everybody has their own God-given missions. Whatever the most horrendous things that are happening on the planet right now in Middle East, all these horrendous things are happening because they firmly believe they're doing God's work. Let's understand this. Sitting here, we may think, oh, these are all some cavemen or nutcases from somewhere. No, no, no. They're doing God's work. They truly believe it. If they did not believe it, they wouldn't pitch their life for it, isn't it? Any man who pitches his life for whatever he thinks is right or whatever he believes, you have to at least trust he's sincere about it. Is he sensible? That's another question. But is he sincere? He is. Otherwise he wouldn't pitch his life. Because it is in the very intrinsic nature of life, whether you're a man, woman, or an ant for that matter, if you try to catch an ant, he will do everything possible to save his life, isn't it? He does not think it's just an ant's life, let me shed it. No, 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 it's very valuable for him. This is the intrinsic nature of life, that every life values itself for what it is. Now, because most human beings have done nothing about experiencing the intrinsic value of life, right now I would say most human beings are not life, they're a bundle of thoughts, emotions, ideas, opinions and prejudices. Because they have become this, now they're coming up with another idea, they have a God-given mission. There is no mission. Life is a phenomena beyond missions. It is bigger than any silly mission we can think about. It is more profound, more organic and more phenomenal than anything human mind can ever think about. Our missions, local missions we can have. Right now you can have a mission, I don't want a single home in Kolkata without electricity. This is your local mission, it's fine. But this is not a God-given mission, this is a sensible mission that you come to because so many people are living in darkness. That's fine. Everybody can come up with missions like this out of your sense. But the moment you have a God-given mission, you're a danger to the world. Yes.
Is there salvation? And if so, what is it?
Salvation from what?
Salvation from birth and rebirth.
So you believe you're here many times over. So if you want to know something, if you want to know anything, genuinely, if you want to know something, hello, the people in the upper regions, are you with us? Oh, good. They want a little more volume.
Increase
Hello?
it?
Wherever the controls are, please, can you… Is this good? Hello? Okay. See, if we are in pursuit of truth, the most important thing is we don't assume anything. You become a genuine seeker only when you realize, I do not know. Those who do not realize the immensity of I do not know, they will believe something. The moment you believe something, you get identified with it. The moment you get identified with it, your mind is a prejudiced mind. It will only work around that. Why is it so difficult for human beings to say, I don't know? The fact of the matter is you don't know where the hell you came from, where you're going, what is the nature of your existence, you don't know, isn't it? Why can't we say, I don't know? Is it okay? Hello? Is it all right? What I know, what I do not know, I do not know, is it okay? But right now, the tendency in the world, the training in the world is, whatever you do not know, you believe. Belief needs support. Belief needs social support. You just believe something that nobody here endorses, you will start going looking for forming your own society which believes what you believe. If you believe something and nobody else believes what you believe, suddenly you look ridiculous, isn't it? So you will always gather numbers around you. The moment you gather numbers, well, numbers are useful in a democratic process, but numbers are not useful in seeking, because a crowd cannot seek. Only individual intelligence can seek. Only the longing within an individual human being is capable of seeking. A crowd cannot seek anything. So in many ways, when you get identified with a particular belief system, you have become a crowd. You are no more an individual. If you ask anybody, they will say, okay, for example, reincarnation, they'll say reincarnation. If I say this is all rubbish, they'll say, but Gita says this. So, you have an authority which said it. Because Krishna said it, it must be true. In future somebody will say, Sadhguru said it. It doesn't matter who said it. The question is, do you want authority to be the truth, or do you want the truth to be the authority? If you want the truth to be the authority in your life, because that's the only thing that works, then we must come to this much. We must realize the immensity of I do not know. I do not know is the basis of all knowing. When you truly realize I do not know, wanting to know, longing to know, seeking to know, and the possibility of knowing becomes a living reality. Otherwise, you believe one thing, I believe one thing, I'll form one party, you'll form another party. We will pretend we are brothers, when it comes we'll hack each other. Yes. I mean, I don't have to say this, you're seeing enough examples right through history, right? We will say we are all brothers, we are wonderful like this, we respect your belief, I respect my belief, but when it really comes to the crunch, we will hack each other. Not once, thousands of times we've been doing the same thing, won't we ever learn? So, what you're asking is not about reincarnation, or in a way, you're asking what happens beyond death. Some things you know best only by experience. Now, essentially what you're asking is, what is the nature of my existence? It gets clothed in so many things. Just now, some time ago, I was in conversation with Harsh. He burst car tires, he took me to Middle East, he made me cross Pakistan border, many things. But fundamentally what you're asking is, what is the nature of my existence? If you want to know the nature of your existence, you just have to pay attention to this one right now. You said a word which I keep on demolishing wherever I go, you said corporate world. There is no corporate world, there is just one world. So, the moment you belong to one world, I belong to another world, intergalactic fight will happen. So we are just in this world. If you pay attention, how you have happened. Right now, when you and me sit here, well, I have my physical presence, you have your physical presence, and everybody else has their physical boundaries. This is my boundary, that is your boundary, that is somebody else's boundary. This physical body which is defining your boundary right now, how did it happen? In Bengal, maybe it's just fish and rice. What else do you eat, huh? What else? That's not your diet. Yeah, maybe. So, fish, rice and rasgulla in the head. No, I'm saying you're sweet. So fundamentally, we accumulated this body by ingesting food. What we call as food is just actually a piece of the planet. It's good to get it now. If you experience this now, if this becomes a living reality, you understand this is just a piece of the planet. Little bit of topsoil I picked up and I'm walking around. Well, you can carry your topsoil in style or in a clumsy manner, it's up to you. But it is just topsoil. If you don't get it now, one day you will anyway get it from the maggots. Yes. One day when they bury you or burn you, anyway you will get it, isn't it? So what you accumulate, whatever you accumulate, can be yours at the most for now, but cannot be you, isn't it? Anything that you accumulate, you can claim is mine, but if you say it is me, it amounts to, even by medical definition, you are psychologically off. Yes, that's what it means. Suppose I say I am this furniture, people know I've lost it. This is happening every day. Food appears in your plate, you say this is my food, you eat it and immediately say this is me. So if you want to know the nature of your existence, one simple thing you can do is tonight before you fall asleep. If this is a genuine question, is it a question or is it entertainment? Is it a genuine question? It will become a genuine question when your bones start creaking and you know mortality starts knocking on your doors. Oh, am I saying something wrong? Do you know all of you are mortal? I'm saying, do you know even if you're in the upper regions, you will die one day, that's all I'm asking. Hello? Is it okay? This is not my wish, I'll bless you with a long life. But with or without me, you'll anyway die. Lot of people believe other people die. No, you and me will die. You and me will die. Not today, we don't want it today, but when it's time, we will die. So everything that you have accumulated will become meaningless on that day. Right now, if you learn, tonight before you go to bed, if you can sit on your bed, everything that you are not, everything that you have accumulated, for 2 minutes you keep it aside and just go to bed, go to sleep. If you sleep with this much awareness every day, one day you may wake up enlightened. Yes. You will know the nature of your existence. Because right now, if I tell you, Sanjeev, the nature of your existence, your Atma, you know how Atma came, it is a drop of Paramatma. I can tell you many things, but till it becomes a living experience for you, it is just a story, isn't it? Stories will add color to our life, but will not bring truth and liberation to our life. You're talking about salvation. If the longing for salvation is genuine, then stories are only entertainment. It doesn't matter whether the story came from ancient scripture or story came from a contemporary guru, it is just entertainment. But there are methods. I'm not known to be an entertainer. I do brutal things in a pleasant manner. Very brutal things, but in a pleasant manner. People like it ultimately because it works. Ultimately, all that matters in this life is what works and what doesn't work, isn't it? Yes? Whether it's in business, in your world and my world. In every damn world, what works is ultimately matters, isn't it? What doesn't work, however pretty it is, doesn't gel after some time. So, if we are seeking salvation, don't seek salvation, just instead of waiting for that day when you will sit on your deathbed and wonder, what is this all about? Tonight, you sit on your bed and wonder, what is this all about? Let you come down to reality. Right now, you're running away with your psychological drama to such an extent, the existential is completely missing. If you pay attention, you will see and you will constantly be aware of your mortal nature. That means you know you shall also die. This is not a negative thought. This means your time will get organized in a most sensible manner. When you know you're on a limited leash of time, your time will get organized in a most sensible manner. If you are conscious that you will also die, and it could be any day, okay, we are planning for this many years, but nobody here has come with a guarantee card. Have you? So it could be today. If you're conscious of this, do you have time to do anything that doesn't truly matter to you? You will do only what really matters to you. When every human being is doing only what truly matters to them, this is a beautiful world. Right now they're doing too much rubbish.
Being a very deep cricket enthusiast and now somewhat involved with the sport, I see with admiration the rise of Virat Kohli. I see his energy on the field, I see his energy off the field. I see the way he's transforming and rewriting the rules of the game. The T20 format, 140 to 160 was par score. He's redefined it. Now 190 is subpar.
250.
250, 240. There is something within him that propels him more than others. There are many people who are talented. There are many people who have this ability, but there are few who realize this ability. What is it that takes one to realize that he can do a little more, he can inspire more, he can create more, he can create new standards? Is there something from within or is it something from outside? What is it?
I've also been watching Virat Kohli with interest because I've seen every great batsman in the last 40–45 years. Very few have hit the ball the way he's hitting it. Probably the only other person that I can think of is Vivian Richards, who used to hit the ball like this, but he did not have the same sense of mission that this boy has. He just played for fun and, an island, Caribbean culture, and he kind of didn't take it so seriously or did not go at it with a certain zeal with which this boy is going. But I think he was the only one who was striking the ball the way this boy is striking today. which is very rare. Most people who have watched only cricket on the television don't understand this probably. It's one of the most dangerous games on the planet. A hard ball is coming at you over 130, 140 kilometers per hour, and this is the only sport where the ball is pitched and it swings this way, that way, which gives you a fraction of a second to make your decision how to handle that ball. It's a very dangerous game. You must… you know, the bowling machines, they may be there in Calcutta, yes? The bowling machines are there. Young man, I'm telling you, don't try 140 kilometers. At 80 or 90 kilometers, just set the bowling machine at 90 kilometers and stand there and see how the ball comes at you. It's crazy, okay? So every ball is different, the way it's coming at you, so it needs to be handled. Everybody who's there, we must understand, is very good. They may look clumsy, they may get out for zero, but they're very good with what they're doing. But somebody stands out like this. This reminds me of… there was a motorcycle rider whose name was Kenny Roberts, who won the world championships 5 times in a row. People couldn't believe it because you have to win 16 races across the country to get to the championship. All the machines are prepared by the top companies and the talent is at the highest level, but winning 5 in a row was considered unprecedented and impossible. So they asked him, how do you do this? So he said, I go out of control with control. I understand that very well. I live every step of my life like that, always out of control but with control. This is what everybody is seeking. They want little madness in their life, but they don't want to go insane. But their longing for safety and security makes them insulate themselves from that little madness. Then they wonder, what's happened to my life? It's become boring and no good. They try to step out, then they get hit by something. They again build walls around them. This process is going on. So when you take an example like this, one thing is the zeal. Another thing is loving what you're doing, really loving what you're doing. That's what you want to do. This once happened. I was just walking into the Chennai airport and the Indian hockey team was leaving for Germany for Champions Trophy that year. A few years ago, the Indian hockey team came and spent a week or 10 days in the yoga center and we had helped the previous team, but this was a new team. So when I walked in, KPS Gill was there and he saw me and said, Sadhguru, you must come and speak to the boys. We have a psychologist who is speaking to them right now in the airport, just before they leave for Germany. Many of these boys have never gone out of the country for the first time, they're going. At that time, half the team was from the tribal belt, because they all came out of the Tata Academy. So I went there to see what they're talking. So this psychologist is trying to pep them up. He's telling them, I can't repeat this in Hindi, but he's telling them, your parents have brought you up, you have to bring pride to them. 1 billion people, full Bharat is watching you, cannot disappoint them. These boys… These are all 18, 19-year-old boys from the tribal belt, 1 billion people, their expectations and their parents' honor, they're just dazed like that. So they asked me to speak. I said, see, I asked them, do you guys know how to play hockey? I asked them to bring the sticks and I played hockey right through my school and college. So I said, you guys, do you know how to play hockey? They said, yes. I said, no, you guys don't know how to play hockey. They said, no. Suddenly they became, no, we know how to play hockey. Then if you know how to play hockey, this is all you do. Those 70 minutes, The ball must be continuously in the goal. That's your goal. You want the ball to be constantly in the opposite goal. Don't try to beat Germany and Pakistan and somebody. Just put the ball in the goal. You like to do it, isn't it? Yes, we like to do it. So just do that. Forget about Bharat and your parents and everybody for some time. And one of these conversations I had in Hyderabad, one of the film actors, his final question is, Sadhguru, all this is okay, but in cricket, how to beat Pakistan? I said, you should not try to beat Pakistan, you should just learn to hit the ball. There is no Pakistan in the ball, all right? You just have to hit the ball. You don't have to beat Pakistan. If you try to beat Pakistan with your stupid emotions, you will do something stupid, which has been happening continuously. Now, I think recently Virat Kohli came on the television and said, my only problem is I get angry. I want to be like a monk, something he said, whatever, his own version of wanting to calm. I think he needs balance. With the kind of talent he has, if he learns to become balanced, he is going to be a phenomenon. He's going to be a new cricketing story on the planet. Not just one more player. He has the necessary ingredients. I said this when he was 17, I saw him playing in Singapore for the under-18 team or something, he was captaining that team at that time. I saw this boy playing and then only I said, this guy will go far. And then he vanished out of my radar for almost 5-6 years and then he surfaced suddenly one day in the test in the Indian team. And now he's going the way he's going. He needs to balance himself. If he learns to be a cool fire, not a fire that burns him up, then he will do things which probably has not been done for a long time. I think we can give him those tools of self-transformation, which will not take away the fire. See, there are two ways to fire yourself. If I get angry, I can propel myself. This is one way. But all of you know, whenever you're angry, it propels you, at the same time it takes away your sense in many ways. It takes away your capabilities. We can show you scientifically, medically we can show you how your system is getting poisoned when you're angry. Instead of being that way, with sheer pleasantness, you can drive yourself. You do not know how to… See, we have been driving internal combustion engines for a long time, which have been smoking and polluting and killing us in many ways, but they've been propelling us. Now we are coming to engines which has no internal combustion, which smoothly drives without a noise, without smoke, without nothing. We're just coming to that, we're just coming of age with automobiles. Similarly, it's time humanity comes of age, that you learn to propel yourself in a very pleasant manner. I am also on 20 hours a day. Yeah, I'm just fooling around. Why do you need anger and this and that? If out of sense you can drive yourself, it is not necessary you have to drive yourself with anger or hatred. Yes, those things give you energy in a certain way, but they take away your competence in many levels. This boy needs tools for self-transformation. I think we should deliver that to him. I would like to do that to him because he is a phenomena in waiting.
He is. If already not made, I mean, he can be a much bigger phenomena, but he's already a phenomena,
See,
not in the
one
making.
season phenomena will be forgotten.
Forgotten.
He needs to become a… Yes.
In cricket, you deal with lots of celebrities, lots of kids who over a period of time become celebrities and develop huge egos. And when you see the game from within, you see how large the egos are. And to the outside, the ego doesn't overtake the interests of the team, but sometimes it does. How does one as an owner draw a line between balancing the ego and the interest of the team. So if you were to pull up a celebrity, he's not used to it, he sulks. Then your team loses out. If you don't, because of his ego, sometimes wrong decisions are taken. So how does one balance this?
This is not just in cricket, this is everywhere.
Absolutely.
You give somebody to do something, if they do it for 3 days, they have reached stratosphere. You know, if they do something, get little recognition, if 5 people clap their hands, they will rise. So till they fall, they don't realize this is not the way to play cricket. Up in the air, you can't play cricket, you got to be on the ground. So, how to deal with it? There are many ways, but the best way is not that we don't deal with it. When I say we don't deal with it, they need tools for self-transformation. What has happened with them is just this. They are still driving themselves because of the euphoria of the crowds, what is written in the newspaper, what other people are saying about you. Or in other words, you have not found anything about yourself. You are a product of other people's opinion. Everybody is saying you're great and you start believing you're great. No. You don't have to believe anything. If you're good at something, you just have to keep on seeing how to enhance that. This is the problem with people, they think they become ambitious. Ambition means you're tweaking your desire. Instead of tweaking your competence, you're tweaking your desire, which is just the wrong way to do life. You don't need to be ambitious, you don't need to think I have to score 100 runs, you don't need to think I have to become a champion. You just have to hit the ball that's coming at you right now. That's all you need to do. For this, you of course need training, that's a different aspect. Without that you wouldn't have come here. You just need the necessary alertness and presence of mind to do what you have to do at that moment. Instead of that, they become stars. Your reputation will not play. It's only with your competence which plays. Your reputation cannot play. So by the time they realize this, many of them are flushed down because there is a younger crop coming up doing things. I think these boys, because without other exposure, generally with education, they're just coming straight into the game and they fully give themselves to the game. Before they know what's happening, they're quite lost, many of them, not all of them. Many have matured with the game. Others have gotten lost with the game. If they are given a little education about how to handle themselves, I think they'll come out on the tops. If your stomach is empty, there's only one issue about food. But once the stomach becomes full, you have 100 issues going on. So the nature of the human being is such, no matter what you do, you want to be something more than what you are right now. And if that something more happens, something more, it's an endless pursuit. So somewhere, a human being is seeking a limitless expansion, but trying to do it with physical… Education, in its true sense, is essentially a tool to expand human perception, if possible, consciousness. But today, the societies have chosen to use education only as a tool to produce cogs for the larger machine. Whatever happens to the planet naturally happens to this body, because this body is a product of the way this planet and this solar system is functioning. This is like the potter's wheel by which this has been made. He went into an elaborate science of this later, but to make it very simple,
This much is clear to all of us. There's an elaborate science and mathematics involved in this, but leaving that aside, the way it works. Doing something right means doing it the way it works, isn't it? And it's very important. Whatever we do it the way it works. Can it? I'm getting very serious. On a certain day, a man fell into the septic tank. I want all of you to visualize yourself in a septic tank. He desperately tried to come out, he could not. Then he started screaming, "Fire, fire!"